as you have elected officials that come on that are new, I'm still learning. I've been an elected official a long time, but I'm always open to the new ideas and opportunities. But the classes that they teach here, as far as economic development, the infrastructure, just following the rules that we have to, that are mandated on us. But these classes are very educational that the MML puts together and the committee puts together.
Our roundtable discussion today will focus on community and infrastructure development. USDA rural development, we got programs that can literally build a community from the ground up. We have various infrastructure grants and loans, water, wastewater. We have bridges, roads, sidewalks, stormwater. We have programs to address all those types of infrastructure needs. We have rural business programs where we can provide financial support and assistance to new and emerging businesses in rural communities. We have single-family housing programs. We have multi-family housing programs. So today we're just looking forward to meeting with these different communities to find out what the needs are and how we might be able to deliver some of our tools to help them facilitate growth in their communities.
How have communities benefited from your programs?
Well, for example, Mississippi, USDA Rural Development, nationally, we got the largest water and wastewater portfolio in the country. So there's probably not a water system in the state of Mississippi that doesn't have USDA rural development financing in it. So that's one area where we're making sure that communities have safe, affordable, clean water supplies. But other than that, from our business programs to the infrastructure programs generally, the programs that we offer can really help address almost any need in the community.
Our roundtable today talks about different ways that the Carl Small Town Center at Mississippi State University can help small towns. We offer a variety of planning and design services, and so we're here today to meet with different municipalities to tell them about what we can do to help them.
Give us some examples.
Well, we offer master planning services. We also help communities write grants and receive funding for the services that we offer. We help with bike and pedestrian infrastructure improvements, downtown revitalization, and similar type work.
What kind of success have you seen so far?
Well, we work in communities across the state and have helped them achieve whatever vision that they have for themselves. We really work with communities to help tailor our services to their vision.
Our roundtable is about the Center for Government and Community Development with Mississippi State University Extension, and we're discussing community and economic development issues.
What advice do you have for municipalities?
For municipalities, I just say do your homework. Every community has a lot of varying issues, and what you need to do is figure out where to go to get the resources you need to solve your unique community problems so we can move forward in our state.
Give us some examples.
Well, for example, if you're wanting to grow tourism in your community, then you would actually want to figure out what resources that you have that a tourist might want to participate in, and then you have to figure out how to market that and then how best to use that tourism opportunity to generate economic revenue in your community.
How have communities been able to be successful doing that?
Well, we've worked with several communities to help them not only determine what they have that they could sell to a tourist as an experience, but also we've worked with them as how to better market, and then also how to make those events make more money. How do you get those people to stay longer in your community and spend those dollars in your local area?
Our round table here today at the MML conference is on behalf of the Mississippi Development Authority Community Services Division. We administer a number of state and federal loan and grant programs, primarily for cities and counties. So the mayors and boards of supervisors, they are our applicants for our programs, and we're glad to be a part of it here today.
What type of grants are available to municipalities around Mississippi?
We administer the Community Development Block Grant Program for the state of Mississippi. We get about $24 to $25 million each year, and so we put that into economic development and public facilities applications. We also have, we administer the financial piece for Appalachian Regional Commission grants for the county, 24 counties in northeast Mississippi.
What value do those programs have for the people of the state?
These incentives are generally for publicly owned infrastructure, water, sewer, gas, roads, certain community buildings, and it just helps improve the quality of life and the livability and sustainability of those municipalities.
Our roundtable is going to be discussing Families First for Mississippi. It is a program within a nonprofit designed to serve families and communities in Mississippi to strengthen them. It's funded through the Department of Human Services with a goal of bringing individuals and families to self-sufficiency. And when they're successful within the home, within the household, that spreads throughout the community, throughout the workplace, and on and on.
What advice do you have for municipalities around Mississippi?
To find and contact their nearest Families First resource center. Those resource centers are filled with classes in parenting, life skills, workforce, and they have people who can kind of handhold and help families step through the process of finding available resources to get them to the next step in their goal.
The subject of our roundtable today is the annual report of tax revenues. This is a report that the cities are required to report to the Department of Revenue due to a law that was passed by the legislature in 16 and then amended in 17. And it's purely for reporting purposes, so there will be some transparency and some statistical data reported to the state on the tax revenues collected by each city, town, or village in the state.
How valuable is this information for the state and for the cities?
We have found that a lot of people have used this information for economic analysis and to develop trends in economic growth in the cities. So we find that it has been a valuable tool for many of the cities and economic development boards to use.
Our roundtable discussion includes ways to improve your community, whether it's urban forestry or putting colorful plants in your community, for beautification, but also to attract citizens, businesses, shoppers, tourists, and that sort of thing.
What does the research show about the value and the importance of urban forestry?
Research shows that any community that plants trees and has nice landscapes, their economic success is a lot higher, crime rates are a lot lower, property values are higher, as well as the environmental benefits such as water quality and air quality and those sort of things.
What advice do you have for municipalities around the state?
Pay attention to those things because they're low cost to implement and they can make a big impact.
Our roundtable discussion today involves what the planning development districts do in the state of Mississippi. A lot of the discussion is basically geared toward questions about water and sewer projects, how to help those municipalities solve some of their water problems, some of their sewer problems. And we talked about many of the different funding sources. There's many state sources. Community Development Block Grant is one of the main ones, CDBG. We had a lot of discussion about that and also some of our loan programs that are offered for some of the small businesses throughout the state.
How can cities take advantage of this?
The main thing they need to do is know which PDD district they reside in. And pretty much everybody that's been at our tables know which district they're in. There's 10 of us in the state. And they just need to contact their planning development district and they can kind of, once they know their priorities, they can kind of assist them with helping them with their needs.
Our roundtable discussions is dealing with the Citizens Institute of Government Mississippi State, talking about the resources that we have, how we help the communities of Mississippi, and just how we can help all these communities.
What benefits do you offer to cities in the state?
Well, we can do anything from policy research to impact studies, feasibility studies, all the way down to helping grassroots groups make a change in their community.
What kind of success have you seen?
Oh, we're seeing tremendous success. I mean, obviously we have a lot of success on the research side of things, but in our community development work, seeing these communities actually take action and see change happen in their communities.
Our roundtable discussion deals with towns and communities that want to recruit physicians and dentists, and in helping them to figure out the best way to be able to do that.
Tell us about the shortage of medical personnel in Mississippi.
So Mississippi has the highest physician shortage rate in the country. We rank 50th in the number of primary care physicians per patient in our state. And so our program, the Mississippi Rural Physician Scholarship Program, is really trying to increase the number of primary care physicians in the state of Mississippi. So we're sending those folks back out to practice in an area where there's the greatest need in our state.
What kind of success have you seen?
We've had a lot of success. The program has been in existence for 11 years. We currently have 34 practicing primary care care physicians out in the state of Mississippi, but in just 2 more years we'll have approximately 80 new primary care physicians for rural Mississippi, which is a big deal for our state.
The topic of the workshop is basically what is landscape architecture and why it's valuable to your community. I'm going to be talking about what landscape architecture is and how it can benefit communities. I work for the city of Madison. I'm a licensed landscape architect. So what I want to do here is not tell people about what we're doing in Madison, but just what landscape architecture can do, and the landscape architects, the licensed landscape architects are in the state, what they can do to benefit your communities and make them a better place to live.
Give us some examples.
Well, there's lots of examples all over the state. There's examples, recent things in Jackson, the district. There are landscape architects involved with that project. The Renaissance, the township outside of, north of Jackson. There's plenty of examples in Madison. So there's, we do everything outside the building walls, basically. So we just feel like that we have the training and the expertise to make communities better.
Our roundtable discussion today is involving underground utilities, locating, and also the new damage prevention law that has penalties involved in violation of the dig law. So it's really important for cities that are utility owner operators to have another tool in their toolbox to help protect their underground water, sewer, electric, gas lines. So it's all about protecting our underground resources.
How serious an issue is this in Mississippi?
Well, we have a lot of violators, and this should help simply because when you start levying fines and you start talking about having monetary damages, that kind of gets people's attention. And ultimately it saves cities a huge amount of money because they're not sending crews out to fix the damage.
What advice do you have for municipalities?
Well, really pay attention to what's going on. Utilize this law to your advantage. If you've got somebody that's a repeat violator that's not doing the right thing on the call before you dig law, file a complaint against them and have them penalized.
Our roundtable discussion today is regarding small cell antennas and telecommunication leasing.
What does that mean for cities?
It means more revenue for cities and also how they can regulate the placement of these towers in the right-of-way and in their communities in terms of how citizens view those towers and the aesthetics of them.
What are the issues involved?
For cities, that involves the revenue they should receive is a fair market value for the use of the public right-of-way, and also the protection of their cities in terms of their looks and how this new technology functions to serve communities.
Our roundtable discussion today dealt with Mississippi's Clean Water State Revolving Fund Loan Program. We're an infrastructure loan program to make low-interest loans to public entities throughout the state for water and sewer work. The program's been around since 1989, and since that time we've funded over $900 million worth of sewer projects throughout the state.
What recommendations do you have for cities and towns around the state?
If you have sewer work, if you need improvements to your water and sewer system, improvements to your treatment plants, come to the Clean Water SRF loan program and let us make you a low-interest loan.
Which roundtables did you attend?
I attended most of the planning for the small town communities.
What have you learned?
I've learned that in our town, we can call on these people and they can help us to get all of our infrastructure that's needed to be done. This is my second year to come to the conference, and what I've learned so far is the infrastructure on how to get money for the infrastructure of our towns, and also buildings that has been dilapidated that we can get funds for to repurposing.
We attended the state audit roundtable, and we learned a lot of information that we did not know about reimbursements and
how valuable is that information for you?
Very, very information. It was great.
I've attended one dealing with economic development. I've attended the Families First seminar over there. I've attended 4, and all of them been informative and helpful to get information we can take back home and maybe use for our community growth and development.
Hi, my name is Rashonda Harper Beecham from Pelahatchie, Mississippi, and I am a newly elected mayor. I attend this conference, this is my 2nd year, so that I could learn community development for our town.
How has this helped you?
It is very informational and informative so that we can go back and grow our community as far as economy and infrastructure.
One of the ones that I went to just a few minutes ago was the Car Planning Center, and I learned Leah Kemp and the people with Mississippi State. I learned all the services that they provide that we didn't know, things like planning and zoning, community, helping you get a community together to do a comprehensive plan, and that was a very interesting class for me. Also, it didn't hurt to have some other cities networking and talking about different things that they've done. They write grants, so that one was a good one. And I'm at the Families First for Mississippi right now, and that one's a good one also. It's really good.
How valuable would you say these roundtables are?
These roundtables are valuable to us because it's a small setting. Not only do we get to hear from the person that's presenting, but the floor is kind of open for the mayors, aldermen to talk with one another. That's really great.
We've learned about rural development. We've learned about how to get low-cost loans, low interest. We've learned about how to get grants for different projects. One of them was any project that you had in the town, you could get up to $50,000 in grants, and then you could borrow the rest of the money to go with the grant money. And most of the interest was like 2.5 to 3%. It was really great. We learned about a new project in Mississippi that helps middle income class. You don't have to be in the lowest poverty level. It helps you learn how to budget your money, how to get a college degree or even a GED. It gives you like baby steps. You start here, and then you take the next step, and you take the next step. It's got counseling available for your children if they're having a hard time in school and stuff like that. It was just very interesting. I've enjoyed every class.
I attended several roundtables today. Actually, I just left the rural development roundtable. I attended the roundtable for the doctors and the dentists to get those to our city, and I also attended the small town roundtable, which was talking about how, because I had a question on how to get us a splash pad for our children at that roundtable, and they gave me great information that could help us also get a small splash pad for our children, and possibly one that we don't have to charge, because I have a 2-year-old who was excited to go to the one that they had in Forest because I took him there, which is a town away from us. So they gave me great information to take back to my mayor and my other constituents that we can talk about possibly getting one at our park for our children.
Oh, the urban forest. Oh, and I learned about trees. We're working to get some trees planted in our town of Woodland.
How valuable is that for your town?
It'll be very valuable, not only for the looks, but also for comfort.
I think the last one that I attended, small town, is the one that I enjoyed the most.
What did you learn that you can take back home?
Well, they help you. They do grant writing. They help you in parks planning and different things that you need going on with your city. They're consultants, but they're from Mississippi State, and they offer a lot of free help to you. They do charge for their grant writing because that's how they fund their program, But it was an interesting. I thought it was really interesting.
Attended some on the economic development. It's something that we need in our small town, very bad. So I learned a lot of grants that's out there that you can apply for, and that's what we'll be doing. We'll be looking at what we can apply for in the small town of Terry and to move it forward and help to grow.
How valuable has this been?
Very, very, very valuable. Something we've been needing for a long time. So be able to come out and listen to these guys give this presentation is a great help for us.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
I was elected to office as Alderwoman at Large in Clinton this past year. So this is my second Mississippi Municipal League conference.
How valuable have you found them?
I think they're extremely valuable. I'm a big proponent of continuing education, and I was already familiar with the work of the Municipal League through the work I do as an association director.
What have you learned here that you're going to be able to take back to the people at home?
I was in a great session this morning about land use and planning, and I think all of us that are in leadership positions in municipal government need to learn as much as we can about how to better prepare for the future of our cities.
I attended the roundtable on rural medicine and dentistry in respect to recruitment, which was a program that I didn't know exists that provides assistance to undergraduate students that guide them and facilitate them and prepare them into medical school, dental school. And of course, the focus is that when they finish their programs, that they go to rural areas in the state of Mississippi, which is important. The other roundtable that I attended was the Mississippi Development Authority to learn more about the grant programs and loan programs. As a matter of fact, while I was sitting there, one of the loan programs that they have called the CAP loan program, I'm in need of a ladder truck in Natchez. This program will provide the loan necessary for me to be able to acquire that $1 million ladder truck that we need for the city of Natchez.
The interesting class I had this morning was I'm Smiling, but I Really Want to Slap You, which is basically a class that teaches how to interact and to communicate more effectively with people with different personality types.
How's that going to help you in the city?
It's going to help me communicate better and to get a better end result, because if I know the personality type, I know how to interact with them better, and I know how to get better results.
Very good. Tell me, how valuable have these sessions been for you?
Great, I've learned a lot. Networking is good. I'm in the class now on municipal law, which is my last class in the core classes that we have to take. And it's interesting to know how to stay out of trouble, because that's one of the most important things.
This is my first year. I'm a newbie.
What have you learned so far?
That I have a lot to learn, but it's been real interesting about the land usage, and also right now we're in the municipal law, and it's been extremely helpful.
What are you going to be able to take back home?
I'm going to have to process it, but I've definitely it's helped me in to develop more of a research atmosphere to build my knowledge on this, because it's a lot to learn.
I am a newly elected mayor of Crowder, Mississippi. This is my second meeting at MML, and I had completed all my basic courses. I need a few more electives, and I'll be graduating in basic hopefully soon.
How has this helped you be a better mayor?
Oh, it's a lot of information that I think all of us can gain from to help us to better serve our communities.
What topics have you learned about here today?
Today we talked about land usage, planning, to upgrade some of the buildings that could be used for something else, and make it more anesthetic for other people to come in. So it's very informative.
Oh, I love it. I love the round tables. They give you more to think about. You know, each individual person talks to you and not the whole big room.
One, I was going to tell them some of this urban development, some economics type situations. They have several on different grants and stuff like that that's available. So I've just walked in the door fixing to get my thing and try to see which one is of interest to attend.
What do you want to learn here to bring back to your town?
Well, I think naturally this whole convention every time has a lot of great opportunities to learn a lot about municipal government, some programs that are available through the MML. It's just a great effort that they put on to help us to understand more either about the laws or what's available to help our communities.
I am a new elected mayor, and I've been mayor for 1 year coming up in July. And the reason why I came to MML was to gain resources and also knowledge that can assist my community and also help with some of the things that we want to do to make our community of Sunflower successful.
What have you learned so far?
I've learned a few things and developed a lot of partnerships and network, some around Avalon taxes and also blight elimination, which is something that actually plagues our community. And we definitely want to try to come up with some solutions that will be able to alleviate that issue that we're having.
I attended the how could the Standard Center be convenient for our town, and we was looking for something to help our town grow in the economic development part.
Do you think this will help?
Yes, I do, because it gave us some valuable information of what we need to look at and what we need to do to try to bring bigger things into our town and other businesses, try to recruit people to come into our town and things of that nature, because we are a small town.
I attended the roundtable on utility right-of-ways and maximizing our benefits for cell towers and small cell towers.
What'd you learn?
Well, I learned a lot that our town maybe have some money left on the table that we're not maximizing on our contractual agreements with our cable providers and cell phone providers.
How valuable are these sessions for you as a mayor?
Oh, very valuable. This is probably my 7th year coming down, and I learn something every time. The educational seminars and meetings are invaluable.
This is my first term as being an elected official, but I've served in elected official capacity for 20 years before on my school board, and I always find these conferences very helpful, informative, and something that you can take back to your community as well.
What do you want to learn here to take back home?
How we can build our little small town up with structure, businesses, because we live near a major high interstate, which is Interstate 59 between north and south, and we need business to come into our little small town.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who's responsible for this MML conference. I think that this is definitely an eye-opening experience, and I would advise anyone to try it. I mean, it's definitely been something that I value, and I think it is very important that the municipalities will participate.
Local government is the government closest to the people. They're the ones who provide everything for our citizens: public safety, water and sewer, streets, parks, rec, and they're in the trenches, and so they're the ones who work hard every day, 24/7 in some cases, to provide services for citizens, and we're working hard to provide education and training and more financial resources to them.
Your reaction to everything that you've seen over the several days of the conference?
We've had a great conference. We have a record number of municipal officials here. We expect to have about a total of 2,500 folks by the time everything kicks off, and so it's been exciting, and we've seen a lot of new officials here that were elected last year, and they're trying to learn and be educated and be better servants.
If people have questions like more information, what should they do?
They can go to our website at mmlonline.com, or they can call our office at 601-353-5854.